Inside Queen Elizabeth II's beloved hobby that left her passengers white knuckles. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest-reigning monarch in British history, was known for her many qualities, such as her sense of duty, her keen intellect, and her unwavering dedication to her country. However, one of her lesser-known passions was her love of driving. This was not a seemingly ordinary hobby at all for the late Queen, whose dexterity behind the wheel sometimes left her passengers gripping their seats in admiration and tension. Queen Elizabeth's love of leadership was deeply rooted in her early years. During World War II, the then Princess Elizabeth joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service, ATS, where she trained as a driver and mechanic. She became the first member of the royal family to serve in the armed forces as a full-time active member. Here she learned to drive military vehicles, including ambulances and trucks, and honed her skills in vehicle maintenance. Her practical training during the war laid the foundation for her lifelong love affair with leadership. The Queen's experience was not limited to vehicle mechanics only. She became adept at navigating difficult terrain and handling large vehicles under pressure. This background would later affect her confidence on the roads, whether she was driving in the English countryside or maneuvering in the busy streets around her estate. One of the most fascinating aspects of Queen Elizabeth's driving is the fact that she has never had a driver's license. As a sovereign, she was the only person in the United Kingdom who was not required to have one. The Queen also did not need a number plate on her cars, a unique privilege. Despite these technicalities, her driving skills were said to be impeccable, and she would often drive herself whenever she had the opportunity, especially when at private estates such as Balmoral in Scotland or Sandringham in Norfolk. The Queen was often seen behind the wheel of her favorite Land Rover, Range Rover, and Jaguar cars of which she was particularly fond due to their sturdy build and reliability. Her favorite car for many years was the Land Rover Defender, a vehicle synonymous with ruggedness and the British countryside. She often drove herself around the Balmoral estate, ferrying guests and exploring the rugged Scottish landscape with a level of control that belied her age. While Queen Elizabeth's love of driving was known, not all of her passengers shared her enthusiasm. Over the years, there have been numerous tales of guests and dignitaries who have had the experience of riding with the Queen throughout their lives, sometimes sitting back in their seats with a mixture of excitement and fear. The Queen was known for her speed and assertive driving style, which sometimes made her passengers feel a little nervous during the trip. One famous anecdote involves the then Saudi Crown Prince Abdullah bin Abdulaziz during his visit to Balmoral in 1998. The story goes that after lunch, the Queen offered to take the Crown Prince to tour the estate. To his surprise, she jumped into the driver's seat of the Land Rover and took off at a brisk pace. At the time, women in Saudi Arabia were not allowed to drive, and the Crown Prince was reportedly very upset when the Queen maneuvered the car through Balmoral's narrow, winding roads. According to Sir Sherard Cowper-Coles, the British ambassador, the Crown Prince pleaded with the Queen to slow down, to which she responded with her characteristic calm and reassurance. Driving wasn't just a hobby for Queen Elizabeth, it was also a way to connect with her family. She often encouraged her children and grandchildren to drive and accompanied them on their country trips around the royal estates. Her daughter, Princess Anne, and her grandchildren, Prince William and Prince Harry, were also seen driving the car themselves, a trait they seemed to have inherited from their grandmother's love of independence and control of the road. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, also shared the Queen's love of leadership. In their younger years, the couple was often seen driving around in their custom-built cars, enjoying the freedom it afforded them away from the public eye. However, in later years, it was more likely that the Queen would be in control of the car, especially after the Duke's decision to step back from driving after a minor accident in 2019. For Queen Elizabeth, driving was more than just a means of transportation. It was a symbol of her independence and self-reliance. Even in her 90s, the Queen has been seen driving herself to many events on her private estates, always with a sense of purpose and a glint of determination in her eye. Her love of driving also represents her desire to stay connected to the mundane aspects of life, something that sets her apart from the often guarded nature of the royal lifestyle. This independence was most evident during the quieter moments of her life at Balmoral, where she was freed from the constraints of royal protocol. These impulses were said to have given her a sense of peace and normalcy, allowing her to contemplate and enjoy the natural beauty of the landscape in solitude or with a trusted companion by her side. Queen Elizabeth II's love of driving remained strong throughout her life, even as she grew older and became less public. Its legacy on the road is remembered not only for the sheer joy it took in the hobby, but also for its ability to put even the world's toughest people on edge a little with its spirited driving style. Her passion was a testament to her adventurous spirit and determination to live life on her own terms, even when it came to something as simple as driving a car. As royal watchers remember the late Queen, her driving will always be a treasured part of her story, a small but important detail that highlighted her down-to-earth nature and passion for life, leaving her passengers feeling both thrilled and a little overwhelmed. White Knuckle.